Esther 7:7-8 says, "The king got up in a rage and left his wife and went out to the palace garden. But Haman, realizing that the king had already decided his fate, stayed behind to beg Queen Esther for his life. Just as the king returned from the palace garden to the banquet hall, Haman was falling on the couch where Esther was reclining. The king exclaimed, 'Will he even molest the queen while she was with me in the house?' As soon as that word left the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face." Well, for joining us in reading through this 90-day reading plan, today's reading is Esther 6:10-7, and I encourage you to read that passage. Well, sometimes things just don't work out the way you think they're going to work out. You plan everything, you think you have all the bases covered, and something comes up to spoil all your plans. Now, that's exactly what happened to Haman. Everything he'd planned was thwarted because God had different plans. And sometimes people do even more stupid things when they're desperate. Haman obviously knew that he wasn't supposed to come anywhere close to the queen, but instead he fell on the couch where Esther was to beg her even more. When the king arrived and saw the situation, he was even angrier, and it cost Haman his life probably much quicker. Now, obviously, Haman planned something evil, and God prevented it from coming to pass. What about the times when we plan something that we believe that God is glorifying, and yet those plans get stopped? Why do you think that happens? Well, God prepares us in ways that we sometimes do not understand. Now, yesterday I was appointed to a position of a chaplain in the Civil Air Patrol. That's the auxiliary of the U.S. Air Force. And I desired to be a chaplain for the past 45 years. I'd gotten out of the Army 42 years ago to go back into the Army as a chaplain after school. And God prevented me from doing that. And through the next 42 years, He gave me experiences and placed things in my life that prepared me for yesterday's ceremony. Well, it's good to make plans, but those plans must coincide with God's plans for them to come about. And just because He puts things in your way doesn't mean that He has forgotten you. Mordecai told Esther that God had placed her in that situation specifically for saving the Jews when they became endangered. Now, if we make our walk with Christ the desire of our heart, the desires will really mean that they are God's desires, and anything which we desire will be given to us. Not necessarily when we think they're going to be given, but when the time is right.